What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and some more Blood and Plunder for you as we are working our way towards the end of the British sub-factions here from the No Peace Beyond the Lion book. Today we're taking a look at the last of the regular factions before we get into the two sort of named character or special character factions, but we'll deal with those later. So English Expeditionary Forces, roughly 1652 to 1713, just for the time period there to kind of match up with some of the other factions if you're looking to keep everything sort of as historical contemporaries. But this force does have three unique special rules here. So you get a +2 to your roll to determine the attacker in a scenario. So not always the highest. We've seen a few factions that get a +3, but that bonus is still pretty handy. Now, it does limit you on a couple things for naval engagements. So you cannot include a ship size 2 or larger. So really just stuck with the smallest of the ships. So really this is going to be a force that's geared a little bit more for just the land battles. And then finally, you can support, you can include one support unit for every core unit in this list, which then makes the unit selection make a little bit more sense, because in this, we only have one single core unit, and that is the Musketeers. Not a bad unit by any means for the English, but some of the more specialized and elite units are definitely going to be found then in the support capacity here. So obviously that's going to mean we're going to be taking a fair few Musketeer units to get access to the support units then. So here they have us with all of the militia units here. So just general militia, militia pikes, and militia cavalry are part of the support. The freebooters, again, very great unit. Freebooters are considered support here as well. And then finally, the militia artillery crew to round out the militia selections, or Sea Dogs are also in the support. And we know the Sea Dogs are pretty damn good as well. But if we're looking to get artillery crew, yet another support unit. So it's obviously going to be a core force, pun intended here, of Musketeers, fair few units, to then get access to our specialized units. So depending on the size of the game that you play and how you want to kind of go about list construction, you could do something along the lines of taking smaller Musketeer units just to keep things cheap and maybe not spending points on any upgrades, then just to get the more high quality units in the form of like freebooters, etc. So there's just different ways to go about it. Or if you want to maybe just focus more on the Musketeers with a smaller support section, you got a couple options there too. Now, commanders, we can go for just any English Army commander will work, or specifically Thomas Hewitson if we want to get a special character. And then for the army scale, for playing the super large games, we got tons of choices. Basically, all the other English forces. We do get to bring in Scottish militia, Caribs, Iroquois, French buccaneers, and then the northeastern and southeastern woodland tribes just to round things out. But a fun force that switches things up a little bit. So again, we do have an interesting army construction bit here that does separate these from some of the more recent forces we've looked at, but basically on a one-for-one basis. So we take a Musketeer unit, it unlocks a support unit, etc., etc. So then it really just depends on how heavily you want to rely on the Musketeers to do the heavy lifting and take larger units of those, or invest points in upgrades, versus how many of these support units you really then want to have access to. Again, we mentioned tactically or strategically maybe, we could take small, cheap units of the Musketeers to unlock as many of the more support units as we can. So just depends on how you want to go about it. But obviously not a list that's going to do well on the naval games, just given the ship restrictions, but does seem to lend itself to being a little bit more aggressive here with our bonus to being the attacker in the scenario. So, but lots and lots of infantry basically here with some cavalry options too. So taking a lot of dudes and hopefully winning the day with lots of firepower, getting up there and getting into combat with the units that are geared towards that, hopefully, and just securing objectives or whatever the scenario objective might be. Let us know, though, guys, what your thoughts are on the English Expeditionary Forces, how you've kitted out the list, how you've gone about as far as focusing more on the Musketeers, or the special or the support units, or just a good blend of everything. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know some of your experiences with running this list, or if you've come up against this list, how did they have their list kitted out, and how did you deal with it? So hit us up in the comments there, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel a little bit more, we've also now launched a Patreon where we'll be having some unique things coming down the pipeline for you guys for Blood and Plunder and several of the other games that we cover in the near future. So go check that out. We're busy working our way on that and bringing up some more content for you guys as we work on more of our forces. So still in the process of getting through a lot of the extra ships that we've picked up, but there'll be a definite uptick in Blood and Plunder content for you guys very soon. Take care.